PlayStation has finally done it. They now have their very own adaptive controller, and it's called Project Leonardo. Hey, Leonardo, you're famous! Let's talk about it. Hi, I'm Steve Saylor, I'm blind, and if you're wondering how I can play video games if I'm blind, if you take a look at the video here, if the video is not there, click the link in the description down below to see exactly what I see when I'm playing video games. While you're down there, click the like and subscribe button to be able to help make this video and channel grow. So yes, PlayStation finally announced an adaptive controller called Project Leonardo. This is something that PlayStation fans have been wanting for a long time. Xbox has their Xbox adaptive controller that they released a couple years ago, and we have been asking PlayStation when is their sort of answer to an accessible hardware solution to coincide with their amazing software in the game's accessibility that they've been putting out in stuff like Last of Us 2, Ratchet & Clank, Spider-Man, God of War. Well, now we actually have that answer, and that answer is in Project Leonardo, the fully customizable adaptive controller. This actually just went up but a little bit ago on the PlayStation blog that I can be able to show you a little some photos of. So if you can be able to see here, this photo is, if you can't see the controller, it looks like a smaller, actually, there is a photo here of how big it is in comparison to the DualSense controller, but it is a circular controller that has buttons that coincide with the PlayStation buttons on a regular controller that kind of go along the outside of the circle, and then it looks like a large button in the center that it looks like you can be fully customizable. Also, there is a joystick kind of sticking out from the side that it looks like you'd have multiple configurations, from a flat joystick to one that is sort of a an old school like arcade machine, that kind of joystick that we've had in the past. This was actually in collaboration with several accessibility consultants and organizations such as Able Gamers, Special Effect, and Stack Up. What's really cool is that again, this is a photo here that is fully customizable, so you can be able to add different faceplates. You can add different buttons to be able to customize it, and I believe you can be able to. It comes with two in the with it. We're not 100% sure about that, but essentially it will come with two of these, which would mean it actually would have more buttons that are available on the controller than the Xbox adaptive controller that just has a large A and B button and a D-pad, whereas this looks like it can control all of the buttons on a DualSense controller. But what's also great is that it actually can be able to do what they kind of call their version of Copilot, which is what Xbox has, where you can be able to combine multiple controllers to be able to act as one virtual controller in any PlayStation game. So you can be able to utilize just one controller. You can use one controller with the DualSense controller, or two adaptive controllers, or two adaptive controllers and a DualSense controller combined. And this works great because then if you have someone that can be able to help you be able to play games with you, they can be able to handle, say, something like the DualSense, and you can be able to handle the adaptive controller. But then also as well, they do allow you you can use up to four ports on the back that basically is a headphone jack that's similar to the adaptive controller, where if you already have your own buttons, switches, toggles, pedals, whatever, that has basically a headphone cable, you can be able to plug it directly into the Project Leonardo, and you can be able to assign a button to that toggle, switch, whatever, and it does the exact same thing as the adaptive controller does for Xbox, which is really cool. So it adds a lot of universality to these adaptive controllers. There is no confirmation of whether it will work with an adaptive controller from Xbox or that it'll work with PC, and also there's no information as far as release date as of yet, but based on kind of the fact that they already have concept art, they already had consultants work on this, and organizations, and they have pictures of these with faceplates and stuff. My guess is that this is probably going to be able to be released sometime in possibly maybe this year. I would say a good prediction would be by the end of this year or early next. But also as well, now I did actually be able to get to sit down with a friend of mine, Grant Stoner, who wrote this article. Sony releases its first accessible controller that is on Wired.com, and I actually got to sit down and talk to him about it. So let's jump into that conversation to find out from Grant what are his thoughts on Project Leonardo. All right, well, Grant, thanks so much for sitting down and talking to me about it. You had a little bit of an exclusive on this, so you got to sit down with Jim Ryan, CEO of PlayStation. What were his thoughts that he told you about the new Project Leonardo?
Yeah, so Jim really emphasized the fact that this is a continuation of PlayStation's mission to make accessibility a company-wide importance. Because, I mean, as you know, their studios really prioritize accessibility, and for years, disabled people, myself included, have criticized them for lack of any form of accessible tech, and now this is their answer. So everyone can finally experience The Last of Us Part 2, or New God of War Ragnarok,
For sure.
Marvel Spider-Man 2. Like, finally we can...
You're speaking for yourself right there. I imagine. So, well, then let's talk about it. So, what are your personal thoughts on this? And like as someone that this controller would definitely would benefit from using, just based on kind of like what has been announced and what you kind of like are able to find information about it. What do you think about this controller? Do you think this will be a better improvement over the adaptive controller, or about the same? What are your thoughts?
I think it's like comparing apples and oranges in a sense, because for me the Xbox version is this huge, like, fully customizable. You can do whatever button you want, you can do whatever position you want, you can do different sizes of buttons, and for me the Project Leonardo is a very compact, albeit very customizable device. So my biggest issue with the adaptive controller for Xbox is it's really big. Like, it just takes up so much space. Whereas Project Leonardo seems to be half the size of a standard DualSense controller. We're still not sure, like, how customizable it can be in terms of the adaptive controller.
Sure. Yeah, no one's had hands-ons on this yet. This was only just announced at CES, so we don't. We just only seen pictures of it at this point. But you're right. I like that the size is definitely smaller. Now, we both haven't been able to confirm whether or not, we're about 99% sure you can be able to get two of them together. Correct?
Yes, you can use two of them together. You can even pair them with a DualSense controller, which is incredibly helpful. Copilot is arguably one of my favorite features that Xbox has.
For your setup, setup needs, does it look like that this would definitely help you in being able to play games on the PlayStation as well as potentially the PC?
So for PC, no, because I exclusively use mouse and keyboard. That's just what I'm most comfortable with. But for PlayStation, I literally cannot play PS5. Period.
That's true, because you actually have a PS5, but you've never been able to play it, right?
It is literally a 7-pound paperweight on my desk. It does nothing.
I hear you.
But this is no longer professional Grant. This is very exciting Grant. I can finally play these games when they release. I don't have to wait a full year for a PC release. While everyone, talks about these games, reviews these games, I could probably review these games compared to before, where PlayStation was virtually blocked off from me ever talking about it or even playing it as a fan. So for me, this is huge. Just absolutely huge.
Thanks again, Grant, for joining me and giving your thoughts on this. Now, if you want to be able to read more and full Grant's thoughts on the adaptive controller for PlayStation, make sure you be able to check out the Wired article that he wrote. I'll put a link in the description down below. My personal opinion, I think this is great. I think this is the missing puzzle piece that PlayStation has been missing for the past couple of years, that essentially has been lacking behind in regards to a lot of their studios in creating and pushing the boundaries for accessibility even further than before, with games like The Last of Us, Spider-Man, and God of War Ragnarok. Now they will actually have a hardware solution that will allow people like Grant to finally be able to play those games right when they come out, instead of hoping and praying that they'll come out on PC either a year or two later. So I think this is great. This is going to be a big moment for PlayStation players, a big moment for disabled PlayStation players who've been wanting a solution for a very long time, and now they're going to be able to have that solution. So I can't wait for this thing to come out, and I'm super excited for it. That's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. And yes, I actually do have a brand new background. I haven't really talked about it yet. I was going to talk about it in another video, but this kind of came up really all of a sudden. So anyway, I'll talk more about it in a later time. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. And as always, I remain obedient to yours. Bye.